good morning.
Good morning.
We meet again at Aero South Africa 2024, and you represent women and drones in Africa. Tell us more about the organization and what it does.
Thanks for inviting me to speak to you. It's an absolute pleasure being here. This is day 2 of 3. Women in Drones Africa is here to represent women in the drone industry and give them a platform to be confident and to be included. What we are doing here specifically is giving unemployed drone pilots an opportunity to build their hours with our drone zone here, making our registered drones available for them to actually put hours in their logbooks and make them more employable.
That's a very innovative strategy. When I saw build your hours in the adverts, I kept thinking, how are they going to do this? And I thought you're doing it off the premises that we're at now. But when I talked to some of your people earlier on, I realized that this square set up here is actually to start doing exactly that. The building of the hours are happening during the Aero. What motivated that?
Well, Aero SA approached me. We've been speaking to them for a little while just about projects we're doing. And they wanted to open a drone zone. So we've kind of developed the thinking. One is through my company, UAV Aerial Works, we are able to, because we're a commercial drone operator, get the permissions to operate at an airport. And so we've done that. Strategically, they've put us underneath the tower. We have a good relationship with the air traffic controllers here. And the idea is that they actually get an opportunity to attend the show, build their hours here, but also practice radio work with the tower. And so the idea was really to make it visible and accessible. The entry is free. To attend and build your hours and do the flights is free. And so I've got my team here that's ordering the individuals onto a list, and they're taking their turns. And some of them have returned today to see if they can get some more time in.
Okay. I see that you say strategically they placed you just below the tower. The tower always has visual over and above the radio works. They can actually see there's the drone taking off inside an airport, which is a rare thing.
Exactly.
Because of the restrictions that we have in aviation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, women are your focus. Why particularly women?
Well, I think in an environment in aviation and specifically in drones, it is still a male-crowded environment. Historically, it's been something that's been more accessible and assumed to be something that men do. And women have come into the industry, and our founder, Women in Drones in the US, our founder Sharon Rosmark, found herself like 8 years ago approximately, attending conferences, being in the same room as aviators and drone pilots, but being the only woman. And so she's like, how does this work? So she started this movement, and she's done such amazing work. And a few years ago, a colleague in the industry, Louise Jupp, started this, and I've been involved ever since. And the idea specifically in South Africa and culturally in South Africa, our female drone pilots aren't necessarily assertive naturally and aren't really assumed to be the natural selected person for a drone operation. In South Africa, we have a unique socioeconomic environment where we need to create jobs, and the 4IR Commission kind of spurred on a lot of funded programs. And with some of our laws and some of our focuses in employment, women have become prevalent. And so this platform encourages, but the thing about drone operations is it's not only about competence, it's also about confidence.
I see.
And if you see my slogan on the back of my t-shirt, we talk.
You can be me.
Correct. And so
I have a good memory.
Right? And so if there's a female drone pilot who is here, who's showing other colleagues that she can do it, there's aspiration.
The young girl can grow up aspiring
to
be one. It's very transformative. I like it. It adds to transforming and developing the industry to be what we want it to be.
Yes.
All right. What have the numbers been like since we started? When day 2 now, how was day 1? How was the uptake of the offer?
Well, the uptake was huge. So we had advertised this online. We asked them to pre-register, and the reason for that is because for a pilot to log their hours, they have to be they have to have their currency, right? So they have to have their medical and their RPC, their remote pilot certificate needs to be valid. So we did all of that. We had a great turnout yesterday. I think we had 11 individuals
coming through. Okay.
Yes, that we managed to let fly. Some of them have come back today again.
More hours.
More hours, and I think the amazing thing, which was not planned, but that has turned out, is we've met some individuals yesterday who, attitude-wise, will-wise, skill-wise, have actually shown themselves to be really, really good.
Okay.
And from an aerial works perspective, I might actually have hired a few of them already.
Oh, I'm loving
So
this.
the outcome of all of this is we've put hours in people's logbooks.
Yes. You've
We
discovered
have
talent.
more, and I've discovered talent, and we may actually have created some jobs.
Wow. I've seen a few men walk in.
Yes.
You don't necessarily push them back.
No, we welcome everybody.
I love that.
And this is my personal take is, if you have the will and the skill, you have an opportunity.
Okay.
I
must want
am
it for
looking
yourself.
at women,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to put a woman in a place where the will and the skill is not there.
Not there. Yeah.
Because aviation is unforgiving.
True.
I cannot have
One
someone
mistake, it's fatal.
operating
Yeah.
that's not safe and that doesn't have that's the competency, right?
Okay.
However, in my business, I have many female drone pilots who are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because we do drone security, they're working night shifts, they're chasing criminals, and they're doing hard work.
Yeah.
But we have examples of where, in the field and out of the field, we are in our jobs because we deserve to be there, not because we're women. We happen to be women, and so we're loud and proud about that.
Kim, I'm very proud of the initiatives that you're taking. One last thing.
Yes.
I always say, unfortunately, South Africa, the way is structured, we focus more on what we call the township child.
Yep.
And I always say the township child is actually more privileged than the rural child. The rural child has never seen an aircraft. The township child sees an aircraft descending for Ortambo or taking off from Ortambo. They have an idea of what this is. And they also have access to the internet more than the rural child.
Yes.
Does your organization in the future or now think about going into the rural areas for the rural child who's totally abandoned and neglected in South Africa?
You're speaking to my heart.
Yeah.
I wish we could do more. We don't exclude anybody, we include everybody. Is there more room for us to go into those areas, to do development, to go and hire? Yes. There are organizations that are doing outreach. SA Flying Labs, I will put you in touch with the person who's actually here.
Yes,
they do a lot of outreach. So their social impact work is actually physically
rural
going
areas.
out to the rural areas, to the rural schools.
Fantastic.
They take drones, and a lot of that is from a school level perspective, exposure. And so now it's tweaked an interest, and how do we continue that interest and then continue so that it's not just, oh, I've seen a drone once and I'm never going to have access again. So you raise a very good point. In aviation in South Africa and even in our drone space, the regulations are such that the drone pilot certificate is still quite a thing to be able to pass. So if the individual has the capacity to pass those exams, then it's open to anybody. I could go on, and I know we have limited time, but the other thing that we really need to, and I'm stating this because I know this is going public, we really need to focus on is not only the drones and robotics, but think about the output that's required in order to make someone employable. So, can they drive? How do we get the rural child to an 18-year-old that has a driver's license? how do we get that individual to learn how to use a computer? Because the outputs that we look for from a schooling system, for example, include those skills. So it doesn't matter if they have a a pilot license.
Yes.
Can I employ that person?
Because
They need to
move
be
from
able to
point A
work on a
point B.
computer.
Yes,
You need
and
to
work
be
on
able
a
to
computer.
drive.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have a license. So we're doing some of that, but the lead time to get someone work ready for the kind of jobs in South Africa that are existing right now, like in the mining industry,
Yes.
drone security, agriculture. That is taking people out. They need to drive. They need to get to places.
Yeah. So many skills are required, basically.
Many
Yeah.
skills, not just drones and
Yeah.
robotics. So I could go on for days, happy to take conversations offline, but yes, I think there's a big challenge that all of us could add solutions to.
I will invite you to our general aviation Indaba for next year.
Oh, I'd
we
love
had
to
one yesterday. It was fantastic in the tent.
Yes.
Next year, you're one of my speakers on the issue of drones, the challenges, what we are not seeing as a country. We
Yes.
think we're doing right,
Yeah.
but we have blind spots. What
Yes.
are those blind spots?
Yes.
We'll talk some more, we'll exchange.
I would love to do that.
contacts. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
It was a pleasure, Prof.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.